Epictastic family, geeks and nerds, boys and girls all over the world. It is Feature Filmmaker Reviews with Josh. I talk movies, TV, and anime, and Comic Con on Marvel's part has been pretty big going forward. That's right, I'm going to talk about the films about the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the future. This new saga is now called the Multiverse Saga, which consists of phases 4, 5, and 6. The Multiverse Saga, the multiverse has been hinted at in the last few stages of the Infinity Saga, but we are actually going forward with it. We are going to be playing around with it more, and I am a Marvel Cinematic Universe fanatic. You also know this. I reviewed all of the MCU stuff. I love the Infinity Saga. I think it's very strong. A few missteps, but it's still very strong enough. And Phase 4, this has been a pretty interesting one. This has been going to Star Trek phase. Now, a lot of things have been very good, like WandaVision, I loved it. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I loved it. Multiverse of Madness was amazing. No Way Home was amazing. I love Shang-Chi. Ms. Marvel was a fun show. But there's also been some things in this phase that I've been frustrated to disappointed with. Black Widow I thought was fine, but it should have came out a little bit earlier than it did. Eternals, after 2 watches, I find it to be the worst MCU film and the most frustrating, but not horrible. I skipped Loki. I did not bother with What If except for the episodes of Chadwick Boseman. Moon Knight was another one that I both liked and hated, so it was a frustrating one. And Hawkeye, for all the frustrations I have with it, I could say it's decent, but I didn't love it due to some issues, especially with Kate Bishop. Some of her characterization was a little too much, and I wasn't really the biggest fan of Love and Thunder, but I didn't hate it. But my review of that is coming, because I still need to post it. But we're gonna break this down and talk about it. First up, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is the sequel to Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. This is going to be directed once again by Peyton Reed, stars Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Katherine Newton, and Jonathan Majors. And we're going to see Ant-Man and the Wasp, along with Stature, continue Avengers exploring the quantum realm and fighting off Kang the Conqueror. This is going to be the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror in a movie. And me, myself, I'm not a big fan of Kang the Conqueror, especially in animation. But I think Jonathan Majors is a good enough actor that hopefully he will convert me over to being a fan. I'm also really excited to see what Katherine Newton is going to do as Cassie Lang, Stature. I do wish it was Emma Furman, but no, fate has a way of stepping in. But I can't wait for this. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is going to be the end of the Guardians trilogy. Started with James Gunn, with the same cast, including some new actors. Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, Karen Gillan, Palm Clemente, Bradley Cooper. This is going to see the Guardians embark on a mission to defend the universe as well as protect one of their own. And this is said by James Gunn to be the most emotional of the 3. And I really loved the first movie. It came out of nowhere. Guardians 2 was even better. These characters are some of the best team you'll ever get right next to the Avengers. If only the Eternals were more like this, I would have never complained about them. But this is the end of the trilogy, and let's face it, when it comes to, even though Karen Gillan has said she will be open to playing more Nebula again, the door is never closed for her, but for these set of characters, this is the end of the series. But I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. And for better or worse, whatever they want to do with Karen as Nebula going forward, we'll see. The Marvels. This is one of my most anticipated for all the right reasons. I know some people are looking at this saying, Josh, really? The Marvel be woke. No, it's not. I love the first Captain Marvel. I thought it was great. I know it has its detractors. I thought Brie was great as a character. In my honest opinion, it did have its issues with some of the writing, and it felt a little bit more like a Phase 1 movie, and some of the directing was bizarre, and the villain wasn't the strongest, but everything it needed to do right to make me like the character, it got right. I do hope we get some more development on her side. Add to that, you got Teyonah Parris, Monica Rambeau from WandaVision, which is also going to be continuing from that. And Teyonah Parris, she's great as Monica Rambeau. I want to see what she's going to contribute to it. And we got Kamala Khan, Iman Vellani. She's very charismatic, very likable in her show. I can't wait to talk about how I feel about her show. But Kamala Khan, Carol Danvers, and Monica Rambeau all in the same movie. This is something I think is going to be worth seeing. For 3 female Marvels, it's going to be awesome. And I know my friend John Avenger, he's excited too. And this is coming out on July, so this is going to be great. I'm sure some people will not like this, but hopefully when the trailer is such, we can get on board. You have Nia DaCosta directing it. She directed Littlewoods, which I think was a very underrated film with Tessa Thompson and Lily James. She did a great job there, and I was really impressed with what she did with Candyman 2021. I know some people were not the biggest fans of it, but I appreciated what that movie was trying to do. Does it get a little heavy-handed in some commentary? Yes, but I thought it was a good legacy sequel. And the fact that she is going from those movies to a big budget superhero movie with a lot of money, this is going to be an awesome experience. Seeing all 3 of these girls interact. You got Megan McDonnell, the writer of WandaVision, writing it. Seeing what emotional weight can we give with Monica. What is the rivalry between her and Carol? I'm all down for that. That's gonna be amazing. Blade! Come on. I love Blade. Blade is awesome. Blade is one of my favorite characters that Marvel's had. He's so awesome. He's the vampire hunter. I loved what Wesley Snipes did with the original Blade movies. Even Blade Trinity, while it has a hell of a lot of problems, I can say Blade Trinity and Wesley Snipes, he owned that character. And I really liked Blade in the cartoon of Spider-Man 1990s. He was one of the better additions on that. So I very much appreciate what they did with him there. But this Blade movie, this has been announced since 2013. And not only that, we got Mahershala Ali to play the role. He was first introduced as a voice cameo in Eternals, so getting to see him in the flesh, I think this is amazing news. You have Bassam Tariq directing it. They start filming it in October, and this comes out on November 3rd, 2023, and we're going to be seeing the Ebony Blade with Blade after it was featured and introduced in Eternals. And if you're gonna have Blade in this movie with a new actor, you best have a damn good recast for a new interpretation. And I think Mahershala Ali is gonna be great. I hope this is rated R, but we will see. Captain America New World Order. Yes, after Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm on board. Anthony Mackie is going to be playing Sam Wilson, Captain America. Is going to explore the effects of Sam Wilson being Captain America. You have the director Julius Onah. He directed the Cloverfield Paradox, which I thought was fairly disappointing. But I loved Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I'm going to say it. Falcon, he earned the shield after enduring so much. He was worthy, and to see Anthony Mackie get to finally don the suit and become his own, I think there's a lot of potential you're gonna do with this. So definitely one of my most excited projects. It's gonna be interesting to see Anthony Mackie and see how people will respond to it. I know some people are not gonna take too kindly with a black hero leading, but over the years, especially with Into the Spider-Verse being as great as it is, a lot more people have becoming accepting. And now with stuff like Spider-Verse, and especially with Shang-Chi, black characters and Asian characters, they're getting their time to shine, and it's long overdue. Thunderbolts, I don't know much about this one. This is supposed to be directed by Jake Schreier, written by Eric Pearson. All this is gonna be is we're gonna have villain type characters. As past MCU projects, there ought to be in the film. They start filming 2023, and a group of villains are going on missions for the government. So it's like the MCU's answer to Suicide Squad. So I'm curious within. Also, we're supposed to have some characters that have not been introduced yet. So I'm very curious to see how we're gonna do there. See how that's gonna be, and it should be a lot of fun. Even with a little bit of recasting on William Hurt and maybe a few other characters' point of view, I think that's gonna be great. But this is the big one. Fantastic Four. The new Fantastic Four. I know some people are already gonna look at this and be like, why are we doing this again? This comes out on November 8th, 2024, and I'm excited for this. We have not had a Fantastic Four movie since the 2000s. Say whatever you want about the 2000s Fantastic Four movies, but I thought those movies, they were fun. They got the tone down. It treated the characters like family. And while you may not have had the best casting with Jessica Alba as Invisible Woman, I think that cast of actors did the best they could. Are they cheesy? Yes. Did they have issues? Yes. Did they mess up Galactus? Yes. And did they go a little bit too overly 2000s at times? Yes. But at the same time, I still have a lot of fun with those movies. Those are some of my guilty pleasures, and they're some of my favorite post-MCU movies. And the Fantastic Four, they are desperate in needing of another movie. Yes, they may not have nailed, of course, everyone's favorite Doctor Doom as well as they should have, but I thought Julian McMahon, he is the best Doctor Doom that we will ever get. At least until we get Doctor Doom either in this new film or in sequels to this new Fantastic Four. But comics, they deserve this. After the horrible piece of crap 2015 movie. I know some people like that movie. It does have a share of fans, so if you like that film, that's great. But that was just a prime example of doing the characters wrong, right along with a lot of studio interference. And I'm sure this was not Josh Trank's fault, so I'm not gonna blame it all on him. That was more on Fox. And that movie was doomed to fail from the start. But this new Fantastic Four, there's been some casting rumors like Joe Keery and Penn Badgley, and we just had Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness in another universe. And some casting like Seth Rogen and such, and Kristen Bell. And I'm curious to see who they're gonna pick in D23, but the reason why I'm a little hesitant about this a little bit is because of who you will want to cast as Invisible Woman. One of them is Elizabeth Lail, and she did the movie Countdown, which I was not a biggest fan of. But we don't know who's going to play her until D23. Because when I think of Susan Storm, I think of a strong heart, badass, very smart, and someone you could buy a connection to with Reed Richards. So I hope it's someone on that level who can be worthy and not ruin the character incarnation. But the Fantastic Four, they need a great movie. After this, it's been too long. They have dragged through the mud for far too long, and I think it's time that they need a little bit of redemption. So if this Fantastic Four movie is good, this could be the beginning of a new Fantastic Four trilogy or quadrilogy. But plant the seeds right. Don't introduce Doctor Doom right away. Wait until the second or third movie, maybe even fourth movie. I want to see some villains they never met before. I want to see some character interactions we never got, like Spider-Man or something like that. The possibilities are endless. Maybe we could try Silver Surfer again. And when we get to his part, we could finally get the live action Galactus we have been clamoring for. Because everybody wants to see Galactus done right. He deserves it after everything he's been through. And so does these characters. If this Fantastic Four movie is great, it's gonna be awesome. We are gonna have a great time with those, but it depends on the director and the casting. But 2024 in Phase 6, I'm okay. I'm down. Again, as long as you nail the casting of the guys, and especially Invisible Woman, I will not have a problem with that. Then to conclude the Multiverse Saga, we got Avengers, the Dynasty, and Avengers Secret Wars, both coming out in May and November of 2025. That's right, they're doing the Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions type situation where we don't have to wait a whole nother year. This will give them a lot of time to write, plan, make sure they have great effects, great action set pieces for a lot of these characters they want to use, like Captain Marvel, Shuri, Doctor Strange. Maybe the Eternals could work with them in a movie like this, because on their own movie it didn't work. Who knows, maybe Kate Bishop could work a lot more for me here, because I really like Haley Steinfeld in the role. I just wish that character was a little bit more down to earth. She is grounded, she does make mistakes, but there are moments where I said Kate Bishop got on my nerves a little bit, and I cannot stress that enough. Don't take it as I'm being a Haley Steinfeld hater. But both of these at once in the same year, unless you have to push it back for an extra year to make things work, I'm okay. Now I get to what we could expect at D23 Expo, and I want to have some clues and play some guessing here. So let's talk about this. So maybe Eternals, like, I was not the biggest fan of that movie, but I don't think they should give up on them. I do think you could learn from your mistakes and make a better movie. But again, where are they gonna play into the Multiverse Saga? How do they play in the grand scheme of things? I don't know. We'll find out. Eiza casting rumors that could be coming true. Eiza Gonzalez, she might be taking over for Elodie Young as Elektra in the Daredevil show, if that is gonna be true or not. That would be amazing to see Eiza Gonzalez in the MCU. I think she's ready, honestly. Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time. I would love to see an announcement about this D23. I want to see more Shang-Chi, as well as Zealing. What more can they do with that? That's gonna be great. Could we see the Thunderbolts in the future in this multiverse or something? That would be great to see, not only the Thunderbolts but also the X-Men interact. That way we could have that father-son interaction. I want to see Cyclops miss father. Be an emotional moment. It'd be very heartfelt for him. And even if they don't get a trilogy, at least if we get one movie with them, it will be worth it. Young Avengers. How much more build-up are we gonna get of them? Like Kate Bishop, America Chavez, Stature, the twins, Billy and Tommy, Loki as a child, Patriots, could Miles Morales be a part of that? The X-Men or the mutants. We know it's coming, so I want to see where is that gonna fit in as far as release dates, because there are some unannounced release dates. X-Men, all I can say is I'm happy to see these guys back home. How is Haley Steinfeld's case gonna play into this? Like I said, I don't hate Haley, and she's good for the most part. It's just I wasn't a fan of some of the writing, some of her annoyance, and some of her humor. And there were some moments that did frustrate me out of her. But I'd be more than willing to give her a chance as long as they give her something to do. But Gwen Stacy is still her best hero. Miles Morales. Could we get an announcement of him for the next Spider-Man movie, as well as an announcement on the next Spider-Man movie? This is something that desperately needs to be done in live action properly. Miles Morales is hot right now. With his movie, his video games, the comics, and then the animated show on Disney+. Miles Morales is definitely one of the must-see MCU characters in the MCU, and I really want to see Miles done justice. As a big fan of Into the Spider-Verse, as someone who didn't think Miles Morales was going to work all that well for a theatrical movie, he is a surprise, and he's a character I desperately really would love to see in this. Also, where is Doctor Strange gonna play it? Are we gonna get an announcement for Doctor Strange 3 with Sam Raimi, Benedict Cumberbatch, Charlize Theron, and maybe the other cast members? Because that second movie was so great, and that cliffhanger was so great that I want to see more of Benedict Cumberbatch as his character. I want more Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, he's the Harry Potter of the MCU. And to not give us more of him will be a massive undertaking. Deadpool 3. This one, I'm cautious with. I'm excited because we're gonna get Ryan Reynolds. We get the writers of Rick and Morty writing it. We get the writers of the first two co-writing it. Ryan Reynolds is back. Hopefully we get Marina Baccarin and Zazie Beetz and some characters back. It's gonna be rated R. He's gonna be meta like he is. I just hope that some of the humor with Deadpool making fun of Disney doesn't go too far, and I hope that whoever new casting that we get does not take me out of it. And please do, for the love of God, do not bring Gwenpool into this. She's too weird. She's too out there. If you have to bring in another Deadpool, just let Marina Baccarin play Lady Deadpool and bring in some other characters. But please have some good casting for some new characters and make it fun. And make it just as great as the first two. Don't pussify it to PG-13. But this is my biggest question of them all. This is personal to me too. What are we going to do with Wanda Maximoff and Scarlet Witch going forward? We already know Elizabeth Olsen with her beautiful, talented acting. She's going to be in season 2 of What If. But I want to see what they're going to do with her in live action going forward, especially after Multiverse of Madness. Could we see House of M? Could we see a redemption arc? Because I would hate for them to leave this character open-ended like that, the way they did. Because one with Wanda just there. Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch is one of the most popular MCU characters you got right now. And to not use her would be a massive disappointment, to not use her more in the future. Elizabeth Olsen, she's so great as this character. And I really want to see more of her going forward, especially in this multiverse. If she has to go through a redemption arc and a detox, give her a redemption arc. Have her go to Westview and say, "I'm sorry I imprisoned you all." Have her learn from her mistakes and become a better person. And hopefully through the multiverse, maybe a portal opens and she could actually meet her children with her own eyes. I would love to see that. Whatever you gotta do to get Elizabeth Olsen to stay on as many times as she wants, make it happen, because I love Wanda Maximoff too much. It might sound like most of this is going to be quantity over quality. It may sound like a lot of this is too much, but this is the Multiverse Saga, and for those who are still not sure, my advice is to enjoy this while we can, because once the MCU does reach its inevitable ending someday, we'll never get anything like this again. But the Multiverse Saga, I am excited. We may have had a little bit of a rocky start with Phase 4, but things are going to look up for the next couple phases. And Phases 7 through 9, who knows what that's going to be. Maybe that could be the Galactus Saga. Maybe it could be the Spider-Verse Saga or something. I don't know. That Marvel's creative. So that was my thoughts and my feelings on the Multiverse Saga Phases 5 and 6. And the announcements of what could we expect from D23. Let me know what you guys think of this. What are you excited for? Are you happy with this news? Do you agree with me that we should enjoy this while we can? Do you think it's a little too much? Do you think it's gonna be a little exhausting for you? Please like and share this video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified when newest videos are up, because I do post on a regular basis. If you would like to send money to my Cash App, that's down there as well. For you to send money to my Amazon wish list is down there as well as my address. That way you can send any fan mail if you want to. As always, you guys stay epitastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool. I will see you guys in more content. Well, that's gonna do it for this video. If you like what you see here and you want to see more movie content, TV talk, music, and anime, subscribe to my channel below for more Epictasticness. All my social media links are in the description box down below, as well as right here. I'm also gonna leave cards up here and up here. Stay epitastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.